Well, everybody who's watched this interview, you're only getting a taste of what's coming in that documentary, This God Lived in Hip Hop. And what you're going to hear, just like you heard from this young man here, you're going to hear people of different faiths talk about what they believe in, how they portray it in their music. But that's not the major question that comes in that documentary. And you're going to have to stay tuned to see that documentary and know what that is. But if people want to hear more about what you believe in or even hear your music, what's your social media, how they can get in touch with you?
You could look up the One Nation YouTube page. If you type up One Nation, it might come up. If not, just type up Yalesyka, YALESYKA, 1986, and it should pop up. Or you could check out the other One Nation YouTube channel, Perry Hayes Son, all together is one word, PERRYHAYSON. And if you type that up, the second One Nation YouTube page will pop up. Other than that, I'm on Facebook. We got the One Nation group and the One Nation page on Facebook. And I mean, I think that's my only outlets that I got. I'm not sure.
Facebook, you did it?
Yeah.
You got Instagram?
Nah, no Instagram yet.
No Twitter?
No Instagram yet. Twitter, I don't think I can get with Twitter.
A little bit of Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, to show that you are a real person, these are like kind of my rapid fire questions. You know what? I'm not going to do that yet. We only been in here for like a minute and 50 seconds. Let me ask one more question. I don't want to ask you an insight question, and I don't want to ask the question from the documentary. But let's give them one more taste. As a Hebrew Israelite, what is the end game for the men of color or the people of color in this country? And what gives your religion or faith-based practices hope instead of just living life out just as a person that's breathing in our society?
Right. The end game is to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. You so-called blacks and Spanish, you make up the 12 tribes of Israel, along with many of our black brothers that's scattered on the four corners of the earth through the diaspora. And if you come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, this would change your behavior, this would change your characteristics. Most of all, it'll change the choices that you make in life. So even before Yahweh Shah, who we ignorantly call as Jesus Christ, come back, by you living the lifestyle that Christ introduced to us, by you living the Christ-like lifestyle, you won't be dealing with certain things because you won't be making certain choices. You understand? Certain choices like sleeping, fornicating and having sex outside of marriage won't bring baby mama drama to you. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you choose the right person first and foremost before you even get the marriage. Things like that, man. These things will change our conditions. Let's not forget how you broke it down earlier. You feel like the Bible was in 3 divisions, right? I like to break those 3 divisions down as laws, statutes, and commandments. You got moral codes, you got the social code, but you got the spiritual code. And that's what the law, statutes, and commandments bring. It brings all 3 of those aspects. And when you actually bring those aspects in and you really look at those commandments, it's teaching us how to be together as a community first. We keep wanting to stretch our hand out to everyone else before we deal with one another. Learn how to love your brother first. Learn how to love the sister in your hood first. Before we start stretching our hand out to everybody else. Let's learn how to live together as a community. You got people like the Watchmen who's buying land and literally building communities amongst themselves. You seen what IUIC did with the demonstration. They like building like almost like an army with faith base, you know what I'm saying? You see all of these different groups, although we can't all agree on the same thing, you see what they're doing with the community. And I think that's what happens with the law, statutes, and commandments. We learn how to live together as a community first, and we clean up our own hoods, man. You know what I'm saying? If you think it's that much of a problem in Chicago, then you clean it up. Let's not wait for the government to clean it up. We clean it up ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And when that happens, that's when Yahweh Shah come back.
Okay. So, I get it. The only thing I'm gonna reserve my opinions to myself. No, because it's not negative. My thing is this.
Right.
And
because you know we'll end up going in and this will turn into a whole other thing.
Yeah, I don't want to go there, but
right.
The reason why I step back from every faith I ever studied is because I think everybody's full of shit at the end of the day. I really do. We all have our shit. No, everybody has something with them. I can't follow people who ain't worked their shit out. Like I'm saying.
Right.
And if everything is about a personal relationship, then you gotta humble yourself to know that you don't know enough. And you need to start learning on your own and not waiting for everybody to give you information. You know what I'm saying? And that's what bothers me, because people will tell you need to do this, and you need to do this. But what they're teaching you is not faith-based things. They're teaching based on their experience and their faith. Instead of you coming up with yours. You know what I'm saying? So, thanks, man. I really appreciate this conversation. Thank you very much.
No doubt, no doubt. All praise to the Most High.
More importantly, though, my last question before we go into the rapid fire. My last question is this: with all the many different faiths people of color have, what's the main thing that's going to unify them and bring it together so we can break the division of faith and have cultural relevance and unity, rather than just basing it off of I believe in this and you believe in that, so we can't agree on everything type mentality?
In all honesty, man, I don't believe that that's going to happen.
Wait. So I'm gonna let you expound on that, but that's a dangerous game we're about to go into when you expound.
So let me make sure I understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
You're saying, out of all of the various faiths that so-called black people believe in today, which one is going to be the one to unify us all as a people?
No.
Okay, so I didn't understand your question.
The question is, with all the different faiths we have, what is it going to take, in your opinion, to unify us around moral goals rather than religious-based differences? For instance, I think everybody is full of shit, like I said. Pardon the cursing, everybody, but I believe if you can sit down at the table and it's all people of color at the table, and because they're Muslim, Pentecostal, Christian, Baptist, whatever, because you can't disagree, that can't bring unity in the situation. I think I find that as a problem.
Got you. Okay, okay. Now I understand your question a little bit better now. All right. So there's a documentary called When the Moors Ruled Spain, and I like this documentary because there's one part where they're talking about how so-called black Jews, black Muslims, and Christians lived together all in this one place with no problem before the Spanish Inquisition happened. All three faiths was able to deal together with no problem, right? And then even when you go back to Africa and you look at places like Timbuktu, you know what I'm saying, which is predominantly Muslim, but Muslims wasn't the only ones there, you know what I'm saying? You had Jews there, you had Israelites there, and you had other faith-based systems there too. So in my opinion, what is it going to take to get to that point? What you're saying is one simple thing: casting out fear. You feel me? Perfect love cast out fear. If I love you enough to say this brother could be in my community, even though he may be Muslim, he could live on my block and be in my community without starting a problem, because that's how much he loved his God. Even though I don't believe his God is real, even though I don't believe in his God, but he loved that concept so much, I know he could live in my community because he's going to respect my daughters when they walking past. He's going to show love to my sons when they coming home from school and they about to get into a fight. He's going to make sure they ain't fighting. You understand? When we get to that point, to be able to cast out fear, to be able to say we love each other enough to not fear one another's differences, then that's when we could actually get to that point, you know, that particular point that you're talking about.
And that's my issue with all these faiths. Everybody's focusing on dying and getting a reward, but nobody's focusing on the people suffering now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's one of the things, that's my issue with a lot of faiths. Everybody is concerned with the life after, but ain't nobody concerned with now. If you was really that concerned with the life after, then you would realize how important the life now is. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a thing that, like, I mean, listen, this turned into a whole other interview if I talk about that. But my thing is this. We believe that there's a spiritual heaven, but we don't believe that we go into spiritual heaven. We believe that man is going to stay right here on earth when Christ come back. And when Christ come back, we got to rebuild this earth. We got to fix this earth and fix all of the wrong that was done on this earth. So that's why I think, in my mind, I focus on the here and now more so than dealing with a hereafter. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's why it's easier for me to connect with people outside of what I know to be the truth.
Alright, y'all got it. Here's the rapid fire. You already explained one of them. Most impactful hip-hop artist that ever affected you was Tupac Shakur.
That's right.
Favorite hip-hop album of all time?
Favorite hip-hop album of all time? That's an unfair question.
It's not. It's a question.
Me Against the World.
Okay. Best beat of all time? Meaning, it's the song that you heard that you wish the artist didn't make, that you made it yourself.
So many, man. That is, Karev, I'm a hip hop head, man. That's unfair. Just one?
Just one. Just pick one, it doesn't matter.
No Ideas original.
No Ideas original. Which one? The original or the remix?
The one that Nas did. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the original.
The
remix
original.
is the one with the Barry White.
Yeah, that one. That one right there.
Alright.
Dun, 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 dun,
Then the Ghostface killed that. Yeah.
That's the one right there, I guess.
In hip hop today, the guest feature is consistent. But back in the day, it was special to hear a guest on a song. Who had the best guest feature to you?
In today's time.
No, period.
Oh, period.
Yeah. What guest rapper came on somebody else's song to lay down a verse that made you go, yo, he killed that. And he possibly, because as an MC.
Cannabis.
All right, Cannabis. I mean,
Cannabis.
As an MC, you make your mark. So.
And you want to know why I say Cannabis?
Tell me.
Because when we was younger, yo, you would listen to a whole song just waiting for Cannabis part. Yeah. You will fast forward everybody verse just to hear Cannabis part. So yeah, Cannabis.
You have any song in particular?
The song that Cannabis did with the Lost Boys and Redman and A+.
Okay, I remember. I don't remember the name of the song, but we'll look it up. All right, last one. The remix is the lost art of hip hop.
That's true.
Most people don't remake songs because, like I said, the guest feature is the norm now. So we don't have that creative authenticity anymore. It's just, let's just put a song out now.
That's true.
What's your favorite remix of all time?
Alright. Do it have to be industry? Because I have one, but none of y'all going to know.
Remix of all time. That's all
my favorite remix of all time is actually from my little cousin Nay. All praises to the Most High. She did the remix to her own song, and it was fire. You know what I'm saying? But I guess, let me think, for the industry's sake, for people, for somebody that people might know, man. It's hard to say, man. It really is, man. Cause I never really liked it, a lot of remixes though. Now, seriously, I never really liked a lot of remixes, cause either the remix is better than the original, or the remix can't compare to the original. You know. So
there's no answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So your cousin's the best.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, there you go. Look for more with Heritage Hip Hop and this brother right here. So we're going to challenge him. Come out to that documentary.
Alright.
Spit what you believe in. And we're going to have a round table in the documentary, people of various faiths. Not saying that y'all are the representations of the faith for everybody.
Right.
But we just want to hear some different words and opinions to make some thought come out.
Yeah,
so, all right, y'all.
Please make that clear, because, you know, Israel will deliver me up to the Romans. If I say I'm the representative.
I got you. Because we seen other people that we know become representatives on YouTube and they got destroyed off of common sense questions.
That
once again bothers me because most people with faith don't answer things common sense wise. So, all right, everybody, we out. This is my peoples right here, and you'll hear from more. All right, peace.
Follow the steps of a Highland. For many moons and many suns, in search of the one. Defy the laws of gravity, practicing no hypocrisy. If I pass on, acknowledge me. I'm reminiscing to a time when this earth wasn't so complicated. When this earth was basic, the art of its true creation. This earth